Hello and welcome to Informed Entrepreneur Magazine. My name is Mike Baumstart. I'm a small business owner myself, and today I'm interviewing Marantha Edwards. Hi Marantha, how you doing?
Good, Mike.
Marantha is the Director of Economic Development in the town of Leesburg. Am I correct about that?
That's correct.
Okay. And so we're going to find out from Marantha what she does and how she's involved with businesses here. I hope you enjoy the interview. Let's just start out with your background. Where did you come from? Sometimes there's a historical antecedent of why you feel like you want to do what you do. Okay, so tell us about that.
Sure. I actually grew up in Rhode Island. I have 3 older brothers and a dad and a mom that were both fairly entrepreneurial, and I have 3 brothers that as well were. So I think I might be hardwired for it. Although I work for the government in economic development for the town of Leesburg, I feel like I'm hardwired to really understand and appreciate.
You're touching entrepreneurs all the time, are you not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so how did you wind up from Rhode Island to here?
Well, my dad worked for the National Machine Tool Builders Association in Washington. We moved here in 1969, and I went to college in Virginia, was married in Virginia, have raised my children in Virginia. I worked in the airline industry for about 20 years, close to 20 years. One for a major airline, and then a second for an entrepreneurial airline.
Wow.
And then went to work with a technological company, a tech company, that was the premier, the beginning of online bill payment. So I've been drawn to work, even though I worked for Delta Airlines, I've been drawn to those businesses that have an entrepreneurial spirit or an intrapreneurial spirit, if you will, that each person can have kind of a sense of contribution that an entrepreneur has.
That's a very good term. Do you spell it differently than entrepreneur?
I spell it, and I don't know who invented the word, but someone used it and I picked up on it, which is I-N-T-R-A-preneur.
I might have heard that once before, but I appreciate the refresh because that is a great thing to.
It is.
That's a great concept. We're going to have to work on that one a little bit.
It
Okay.
is.
Okay. So, what brought you to this position?
This position, I was working, as I said, in a marketing consulting group, and then I realized that as a small business owner, I was challenged with getting the business, maintaining my taxes, all of those kinds of things. I thought, no, I really need some retirement. I need a retirement. So in my 40s, I decided this was what I needed to do. And economic development, the concepts of economic development are as much about relationship building and facilitating relationships as anything else. And I think historically I've been pretty good at that, and so that's why I was drawn to the job.
Excellent. All right, so describe for me what it is the Economic Development, Leesburg Economic Development Group does. Tell me how it works and what you do for these businesses.
Sure.
And the city also.
As the economic development director for the town, I outline the broad aspect and the broad description of what that economic development, what those economic development initiatives look like. So it's business attraction and growing and expanding existing businesses. Well, as you can imagine, with an independent business or an established larger company, there are those kinds of things that we help them with. Everything from location assistance to market research assistance to facilitating meetings with those resources that they need to grow their business, whether it's a mentor or government assistance in terms of the Small Business Development Center, other entrepreneurs, what's now become very popular and a lot of momentum growing around these meetup groups, which are getting like minds together in a room to talk about what their business challenges are, and a real active idea exchange going on. And feedback is very exciting. So providing all those resources to existing businesses, new businesses, and getting them in connection with the people that they need to be in touch with.
What's the Small Business Center you mentioned?
It's a Small Business Development Center that is a branch, a subset of the SBA, Small Business Administration. The SBDC,
Small Business Administration.
Small Business Development Centers around the country, state by state, Small Business Development Center, and that's a collection of folks that, again, provide resources.
Yes.
You need a microloan, you need a doctor, a lawyer, Indian chief to help you position your small business in all the right ways. that SBDC directs you to those.
Is that related to the SCORE program?
It's similar to the SCORE program.
Service Corps of Retired Executives.
Yes. We don't have a SCORE program in Loudoun County yet, but
Okay.
hopefully we will.
I remember interacting in an earlier business venture I was involved in with some SCORE people. Pretty interesting. Now, the businesses that you are in contact with, is it you outreach to those businesses, or is it some kind of a membership? How do you make that relationship facilitate?
Well, the lifeline, if you will. So a business identifies that they might be interested in coming to Leesburg, whether it's a big business, a big retailer, big business, small business, what have you. They decide they want to be in Leesburg. So they could conceptually call and say, I'd like to be in Leesburg. Can you help me find space?
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me with any research? What can my business hope to gain by being in Leesburg? Those are the kinds of things that we help them with, and then hopefully they land here. And then as things come up, as opportunities come up to grow and expand, they move from address A to address B. They hire more employees. I make connections at the state level, Virginia state level. So it's along that continuum of things that we help them with.
Okay. Now, are there businesses in Leesburg that are not involved with you? Is there a desire to get businesses interested in, working with you in some way? Is there an outreach going on, or how does that work?
Sure. It's a really interesting question, because there are some folks that just open their business, hang their shingle, go about their merry way.
Okay.
Don't need anything from anybody.
Okay.
Which, most of us would probably like to admit we don't need anything from anybody. That point of economic development is really to help bolster their business. So if somebody comes in and they just hang their shingle and they go about their business and everything's fine, that's fabulous. My goal, though, for economic development direction in the town of Leesburg my goal would be that I learn all of the business owners.
Okay.
I'd like to meet all of them. We have over 2,000 businesses in Leesburg, large and small. And there are some that contact us and need assistance, and there are plenty that don't.
I see. Are there any sort of outreach things you do to get businesses to get together? I know you mentioned the meetup type thing, but from your standpoint as a director of this organization, is there something that's done to say, hey, come and meet your economic development council people?
There are a few things that we do. We have an electronic newsletter called the Biz Buzz that we distribute monthly, and that is an opportunity to feature the news stories. So there's a new business that's just gained a contract, or a new business that's expanded, or a new business coming to town. Those kinds of things are featured, as well as the activities and the events that are going on in town. It gives those businesses an opportunity to say, wow, this is what's happening in my community. Maybe I need to go to the Economic Development Commission to find out what they're working on, or I need to go to the town council meeting to find out about this land development project that could affect me because my business sits right next to it. Or because the business award program, which we just had last week, is happening, and I want to make sure that I get a nomination package.
I saw a picture back here. This is recently here.
That's from a few years ago.
Okay, so you have
but
one
we just
recently.
had a fabulous one last week.
Okay.
So we use an electronic newsletter.
Okay.
We are in the process right now of updating our website so that there's not minute to minute, but pretty quick turnaround kinds of opportunities. So if business looks at a website to say, oh, what's happening in my community, they'll see. Oh, there's FCI Federal, Sharon Moser, who just got, Sharon Verts Moser, who just was named for Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year. There are those kinds of things that businesses could look through our website. They'll see by getting our electronic newsletter.
Excellent.
And not the least of which is our business awards that we have annually, that we invite all of the business.
Do you get most of the 2,000 involved in the awards banquet, or is it a good percentage?
It's a good percentage. We have about 300 people.
Would you like to have 2,000 people in this group?
I'd like to have more than 300, but 300 is the best we've had in 13 years, so
Yes.
That's okay.
Do you think that you are not known? I mean, is there a way that people would easily find out who you are and what you're all about in order to be involved?
It's interesting because probably, I will admit, probably one of the things we don't do as well as we could is to broadcast and tell the story of what we do. as an economic developer, my job is to help you, the small business owner, tell your story. And so if that's what I do and it helps you, that's great. But I need to apply that same logic to what the economic development department
Which is part of the reason why we're interviewing you, because we want you to be highlighted, because that's only going to help everyone, wouldn't you say?
Sure.
Now, there's an elected council that's involved with your
Well, there's the
organization?
Leesburg Town Council, which is a body of 7 with the mayor and a vice mayor.
Okay.
And that body appoints representatives in the community to an economic development commission, which again is a body of 7. And I serve as the staff liaison. They meet once a month. We have a strategic plan, focus areas, initiatives that they work on. And so that's the interaction between the Leesburg Town Council and the Economic Development Commission.
See. What would you say to business owners about doing business in Leesburg?
It's an amazing place to do business. And we're serious about maintaining that amazing quality of doing business in Leesburg. There is a tremendous amount of momentum and opportunity coming up through Leesburg most recently. The economy, the downturn of the economy wasn't good for anybody, Leesburg included, and we are seeing a continual uptick in businesses being attracted to Leesburg and businesses growing in Leesburg. We have 3 businesses right now that have been awarded incentives from the state of Virginia because of the number of jobs that they've increased. They have reimbursements coming back to them in the thousands of dollar range for hiring anywhere from 7 to 20 employees. So there are more jobs coming. The technology sector is here. The government contractor, small businesses that are taking advantage of government contract work is here. Fabulous entrepreneurial retailers. It's an exciting, pleasant, cool place to do business.
Yes, it is. If you want more information about Leesburg, there's going to be credits at the end of the video here. We hope you've enjoyed this introduction to Leesburg Economic Development and Marantha Edwards. And anything in closing you'd like to say to people that are watching?
Again, I appreciate the opportunity to tell the Leesburg story today and invite any of you in the audience to come to Leesburg to start your business.
Right, stop by and see Marantha and she'll get you started. Point in the right direction, I guess, right?
Thanks, absolutely.
Thanks very much, Marantha.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.